all Nigerians want an end to the insecurity in the country. Now, this has become widespread, and Nigerians will continue to wonder why it is so. Why is it that somebody who has lived and coexisted with coexisted side by side for many years won't wake up one morning and begin to take up arms against me? Why would someone who shares the same ethnicity as I do, someone who shares the same religion as I do, take up arms to kill me and to kill my family and siblings? What is all of that? Well, the Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai had raised an alarm a couple of days ago, just about 2 days ago, to say, bandits and terrorists may, plan to attack on Inauguration Day. And while the DHQ, that's the Defense Headquarters, has responded to say nothing of sort would happen, that the DHQ, that the army and the military would guarantee a smooth transition to the next administration. Now, also on the other hand, there is a back and forth, what do you call it now, a war of words between the federal government, that's the presidency now, and the governor of Benue State, who says, well, that the Buhari administration has failed woefully when it comes to fighting insecurity. Now, the presidency responds to him and says, well, he hasn't treated the federal government fairly in his assessment. They also bashed him, and there's been a bashing back and forth. I don't want to dwell on that. But then, when we talk about insecurity in the country, the governors are quick to say, oh, it's the federal government, it's within the federal government's purview to stem insecurity because they control the army and the armed forces of the country, right? That's in the exclusive exclusive legislative list. And on the other hand, Nigerians are wondering why it is that the federal government would give security votes to governors. Okay, if they do not, and why the governors would continue to collect security votes if they have no control over security apparatus in their states, or they do not control the security architecture in their states. This is a back and forth. Recall that 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago now? Last year, when the president had a sit down with journalists, he said that he recalls sending back a governor who had come to him to talk about insecurity and told him to go back to his state and fix the problem. Now Nigerians are left wondering. At some point, we've heard the minister of the minister for what do you call it now? Minister of Defense come out to say Nigerians should defend themselves. Nigerians should attack the attackers. Some governors have said their states people in their states will begin to bear arms to protect themselves. At the end of the day, when everybody pushes responsibility from themselves, especially at government levels, at all levels of government, what that means is that they're pushing responsibility to the citizens who do not have that responsibility, who does not owe it to themselves as a duty to protect themselves. One of the primary purposes of government is to protect lives and property. And if that isn't done, it means that government is failing in its responsibility. If you're pushing the role of protecting lives and property to the citizens, then why should they even have a government in the first place? Now, would the next administration tackle insecurity and bring it down to the barest minimum? Now, let's look at the fact that in the last couple of years, or in the last few years, we've seen a rise in herdsmen attacks here and there, what people have referred to farmers herders clashes, some of them really emboldened within the last few years. Would this administration spell anything different? Would they be able to tackle it differently? Recall that people had said, look, let's do, first of all, like in Benue State, the open grazing bill was passed into law. It became a law in that state, no open grazing, and that has generated that. That's one of the basic reasons why the federal government and the Benue State governor fell out, because the federal governor says no open grazing in the states. The federal government thinks, oh, let's open the grazing routes, the old grazing routes and all. which some people have said, look, that's old school. That's not the way to go about it. That's people should be able to build ranches. If it's your business, you should be able to, do it. Federal government should provide facilities for people who want to do animal husbandry or whatever it is, to be able to ranch their cattle, ranch whatever it is that they want to ranch, or whatever it is that they want to rear or produce, right? When that happened, there seemed to be a fallout between the federal government and Benue State because there was a conflict of ideas. Now, what would it be? Would the next administration tackle this? Would we see a decline in these bold attacks by herdsmen who roam around with AK-47s, and this back and forth killings between communities and herdsmen who attack at night and kill people? Would there be a decline? How would this next administration handle this? And would we see the insecurity declining and diminishing, and also completely fading away? Now, what would be the difference if these same people who have been governors would morph or metamorphose into ministers? I mean, these same governors who haven't been able to tackle insecurity in their states, if they become ministers, what would be the difference? Would there be any difference? If they're still in government at the federal level, would they be able to contain the insecurity? What is likely to change? Join with your 2 cents. Let's get talking. 09073530044 and 09087668888. That is 09073530044 and 09087668888. We've seen it all. There's several groups across the country. Would we see another one with this new administration? Because it seems like after every election cycle, there's a new group that tends to, unleash violence on Nigerians.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning. Good morning to you. What's your name, please?
My name is Chibuzo. I'm calling from Cuba.
Chibuzo from Cuba. Good to have you.
Actually, the Nigerian government has failed for tackling insecurity in this country. If they claim that Otom is behind what is happening in Benue State, he don't want to associate with the governor associate with the president, the government of Nigeria. What of Kaduna State? Because it is an opposition party. It's not a ruling party. Otom is from PDP. What of Verify at Kaduna State? What have they done? Have they stopped that place? Have they stopped in Kaduna? My brother, the government of Nigeria have failed us. They are not doing anything. They are gaining from this insecurity in this country. If they are not gaining, the human souls who have been wasted in this country, okay, like Verify, killing in 3 months, how many people have died and killed and buried mass burial? Is still talking of May 29th inauguration. And the DSS is now welcoming itself. They will take care of it. What is happening in the masses today, me and you, they are doing nothing. My brother, our government has failed. They have failed.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. And that's what he believes government has failed at all levels to provide security for Nigerians. Now, would the next administration, because we have a new administration, do you see things changing because there's a new sheriff in town, or will things just be the same? Many Nigerians have called for the next administration to deal decisively with insecurity. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Mr. Ben from One Man Village.
Mr. Ben from One Man Village, good to have you join us. Let's hear
Yeah,
you.
the issue of, yes, I want to comment on the issue of this insecurity. The president and the spokesperson, I don't know whether I should say they don't even know what to say about insecurity, because this is in Nigeria is something the came and even forward it, because the way it was during the Jonathan, it was, at least people were sleeping to some extent. But this one for the president to come and speak out and say, Benue State governor has Fred Hippo is the cause of the something is appalling, and it's even a shame from the president for that to come. Because what is the security vote they say they give to governors of states? What do they use the security vote? Is it nice that they will use to buy and give their things? Well, anything they do is considered unconstitutional. So it is the president that has the bulk of the blame. If they have failed in the area of security, they should know stopping Nigerians. We are tired of hearing all these type of things. We are tired of them. Thank you. God bless you for your work.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ben. 16 minutes ticking out of 9 o'clock. Keep your calls coming 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Frank.
Good morning.
I want to appreciate you on this very comment. And I don't know whether most of our comments on this very platform is count, but I wish it counts that some of our government parastatals and the security issues take note of this. I want to say this. There is one alarming news you gave this morning or headline that most of the investors are leaving this country. I don't know whether government are thinking about that. Because no any meaningful and thought-reasonable person will invest in a country where there is insecurity. I don't know. Now look at, there is one governor I give respect, and I'm still respecting him. The governor of the current governor of Maiduguri. He has been up and doing. Sometimes you see him going to this war front to see things by himself. These are governors who have their masses at heart. Not governors that when things happen, we will go to the scene to see whether this is what you hear is real. Some of them will say we have never had any news about what is going on. Killing in your own domain. So to my own, every governor who was not able to protect the life of his own citizens in his own country, in his own state, is not eligible, qualified to be given any government position. If that is done, it will help us. Because if you cannot protect the life and citizens of your own state, how will you be giving federal government appointments? How would they, like some governors, if you didn't give them ministers of defense, what are they going to do if they cannot defend their own state? So until this issue of insecurity is made difficult, and people who are behind it, that, one thing again is, we should not also look at the government alone. The grassroots should also work out to help this thing work. These people are among us. Some people know them. And there are top governments who are involved in this as political talks to use them to fight the government. When you find out the guns that these people are holding, who gives them money to buy these guns? And these are expensive guns. It is not produced in this country. How did they come into this country? I don't know whether our securities are making such foundries. Who are those suppliers? Who are those behind those guns that they are using? Because these guns are not manufactured in Nigeria yet. I don't know whether the government cares to have our GFS to carry out investigations. Then another thing again, who are their sponsors? How many sponsors were you able to arrest to cope up the insecurities of our country? That's why sometimes when I begin to see the lamentation of most of our Nigerians over this issue of insecurity, it baffles me. Because these people, you can't arrest them to bring them to book. We have not seen anyone being prison. You will see them with guns and they will be released. Then another last thing I want to say on this matter is that in this nation, Nigeria, some people, almost 100, will come to a community, shoot, kill, almost 1 hour to 2 hours, no security intervention. They are not. If something is getting worse, that the holistic aspect of it is that there is something hidden under the carpet. Thank you.
All right, Moses, thank you very much for calling. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, please?
John is my name from Suleja.
John from Suleja, go ahead. Let's hear you.
I want to start by ask question about the governors and what the security vote they are giving. See, this constitution, this Nigerian constitution is a very bad one. I want to tell you this, but you may not agree. Bad one in the sense that you give these people the security vote. At the same time, they don't have power to control the of police even in their state. And
And those commissioners and the AIG and everyone are not answerable to them. So how do somebody wants to think, I want to empower people vigilante with AK-47, federal government will say, no, you can't do that. You cannot do that. I don't know how to blame government. See, there must be a devolution of power from this. The power in the center is just too much that you cannot even on your own instruct what they're going to do in your state. So many of them are paying. They watching their citizens die or nothing, and they are helpless. And you want to blame them. So I don't blame them much for that, honestly. Coming to the security and what the governor of Benue State said, that the government has said, it is not. There is nothing to argue about that. It's 100% or 100 and something percent true that the economy they have failed. I will add the economy. They fail in the economy. They fail in the security, and that is their mass failure. Can you imagine? But they will always argue it. Instead to, even if somebody delivered a message, no matter how ugly that is, there is something to take away from it. Have we done badly? But they will continue to criticize somebody who makes that comment, and they say you are this, you are that. At the end of the day, the whole thing continues. And they tell you more so much they have since 8 years now running. They have invested in security with no result. With no result, I can tell you that. You will just say this kind of countries that they sunk so many of them, and the man who is supposed to be in charge is not bothered. They are not bothered. All they want is what will benefit them. So far as they are going with the proliferation of securities, the citizens and that. All they wanted now is inauguration. You can see them, what they have on their list is inauguration. All this killing as if that Nigeria is worth nothing. If you hear killing here, killing there, and all that, it has become a killing field for Nigeria, shedding blood, innocent blood. Somebody who just done nothing, and they just mowed him down. And in the government, you say you have government who are doing nothing.
John, thank you very much. Have an amazing day, and I'm hoping that you're enjoying your weekend, or the holiday as well. Now, who do we say has failed? Again, I put that question forward because when it comes to in the area of governance, there's a state governor or the state government, and then there is a federal government. In all of this, for instance, in Benue State, where the governor is saying the federal government has failed, the federal government is also saying, "Oh, the governor didn't do well." In this situation, who has really failed? Wouldn't it be for Nigerians to spell it out, truly, that their government seems not to be doing well in that regard? Now, there are states, for instance, in Kogi State, there hasn't been the high levels of reportage or reporting of killings as it has been in Benue and even maybe Niger State. There hasn't been that level of insecurity. What is it that is going on? What's it that the Benue State governor has been able to do that is Benue State and Niger State counterparts and the rest of them haven't been able to do? Good morning, Okechukwu.
Thank you. Arnold.
I'm very well, Okechukwu. I didn't hear from you this morning. What happened?
Honestly, I'm just under the weather.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's good to have you now.
You see, I just want to react on the issue of this insecurity. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
You see, what I don't pass. Yeah? When we have been shouting since, nobody wants to listen. You see, when these people finish with the masses, even the leaders are not safe. You understand? Because the people that are supposed to talk, they are keeping quiet. The herdsmen are going around killing innocent citizens. But when you want to revenge, they will come after you. But the herdsmen, it seems like they are allowed to use walk around the country, killing innocent people. When you form vigilante and say you want to empower them with guns and bullets, the federal government will say no, that you did not have the power. The governors you are seeing today, they did not have any power ahead of these police and army. They are just there like a rubber stamp governor. Because you cannot control common DPO in your state. You cannot control DPO, segments of IT. Honestly, this country is something else. I'm telling you the truth. Bye-bye.
Okay, Chico, thank you very much. Now, let's bring it home. The president-elect is someone who said, oh, it was big on speaking of restructuring. Now, when we talk about insecurity in this country, everyone says, oh, we need state police. We need to create state police. The Buhari administration says that's not what we want to focus on. They don't believe that we're ripe for state police just yet, right? Would this would the president-elect come in and change this? Would he be able to restructure? Would he be able to amend the constitution to allow states to, have their police so that it would, maybe take away the blame from, because it seems like we're absolving the governors from a lot of blame. At the end of the day, they have an excuse. So what about taking out that excuse and let them manage security in their states? People always talk about how, they would use it to oppress political opposition and all that. But if they're able to provide security for the larger states or the larger community, isn't that a blessing? Isn't that a good thing? Wouldn't that benefit the states more than having a situation where the governors actually exonerate themselves from blame and say, well, we do not control the police, we do not even control, like Okechukwu said, we do not control the DPO. Wouldn't Nigerians, it is your responsibility as Nigerians, by the way, to insist on what it is that you want, to prevail on your government and persuade your government to do what is right for you. If state police is what Nigerians want, how about you start now to begin to clamor for it and say we want our governors to be responsible, because the governors are said to be chief security officers in their states. What are you chief security in if you cannot even order the commissioner of police to do something? Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Kenneth Wosu, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
You see, this is the government of the day somehow. Why are they throwing blame on the author? It's not fair. The same thing that is happening in Benue, it's happening in Kaduna, happening in Niger. What is the president sworn in as the president? Is it not to protect life and property of the citizens? It's to protect them. But today, the reverse is the case. He gave himself score mark where there is killing every. Just imagine if you go to Area 1, go to some you see these people carrying cattle everywhere, messing up the road. There is people selling granite, selling side. You see the armored people, they start catching them. So this country is not balanced. Thank you. I remember Kenneth Wosu from Guarenta. Thank you.
Wosu, thank you very much. Now, the governors, people have also said, it seems there's a bit of a hypocrisy in all of this, because the governors would say, oh, we do not even control the commissioner of police, but when it's election time, you see that they somehow control the police. They somehow have some edge. The police, you see the commissioner of police somehow in close relationship with the state governor at that time. Some of them do the biddings of the governors when it comes to election and all. But when it comes to protecting lives and property, they seem not to be on the same page. What is happening? We'll be talking more. Stay with us. The conversation continues here on your radio experience. You can count on. You don't want to leave. You don't want to miss out on the other phase of the conversation. Keep it here.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
From Milky Way to Earth, everywhere there's internet, you can connect with Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Log on to our website www.eaglesfm.com. Follow and engage with us now on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok at Eagles FM Abuja, Instagram at Eagles FM 1023. Download our apps on your Android and iOS stores. Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, your radio experience you can count on.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Eagles Outlook on your radio experience you can count on. Time now 9:31, and today we're talking about insecurity as an agenda for the next administration. We've seen it. We've been talking about setting an agenda. Every time that we have this open mic session, where you get to have your say on the issues. Now, insecurity is a big problem. Restructuring the nation has been said to be one of the solutions, because there's agitations in the south, there's agitations in the southeast, there's agitation in the southwest, there's agitation in the northeast, in the north. There's insecurity there almost everywhere. Almost on a daily basis, Nigerians are being killed. Innocent Nigerians, need I add. Civilians being killed by non-state actors, and sometimes even state actors, become really irresponsible. Now, with the next administration coming in on board, all right, if you start now to begin to clamor as Nigerians for give us state police, the next administration wants to do right by you, right? Especially in the first 100 days, they want to be seen to have done some really, made some really big moves, and they want to be seen to have achieved something in the first 100 days in office. So how about you set this as an agenda for not just the president, but the National Assembly? You're from a state. You have people in your state who represent you at the National Assembly. These are the people who make laws. In the last constitutional review, it seemed like we did, how they say, the dance shocky passed the issue of state police and restructuring, fiscal restructuring and all. How about Nigerians pick just one issue and say, you know what, we want a situation where our governors would be responsible for security. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, well done, my prince.
Good
God
morning.
bless you. I'm doing a good work.
Well
May
done,
God continue to bless you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Fundu. Yes, my governor this morning, in the eyes of the storm. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, you see, a lot has happened, my prince. And it's unfortunate that power is concentrated at the federal level. And whatever the president does will always reflect in terms of security. And whatever the president did not do, it's always there to show. It's always there to show. And so now, whatever that has happened in Benue State, you discover that the president have not been acting enough, my prince. And when you complain, they will tell you that yes, Buhari has given order that anybody that carry AK-47 illegal, they should shoot that person outside. The security people, they have not been doing that, my prince. Sometimes I wonder, and they bias on the part of the security, people. Do you know that if you are from another tribe, my prince, and you carry AK-47, they will go after you. Even if you enter inside where they will go and catch you. But the headsmen, they will carry AK-48, and nobody will go after them. Nothing will happen to them. Hello?
We can hear you.
So nothing will happen to them, and nobody will question them. And in most cases, they will come overnight and plan the attack and kill people and go back, and nobody will trace them and nobody will ask them. And it has been going on for years and for years. Happening in Plateau, happening in Kaduna. And I doubt that this kind of attacks are occurring in where you have more Christians. Yes. Somebody can correct me on this. Where you have more Christians is where the headsmen, they like to attack. They don't attack areas where you have Muslims. Somebody can correct me. Like in Kaduna, where they always attack is where you have Christians. So that is the point. My friend. So now coming to the governor, I think any governor that is in power, despite the fact that you don't have the control over IG and the rest. But what you do is that you react with the police in your state. You finance them well so that they can be able to do a little better. But in the past 7 years, I didn't see that on the part of the governor. Because I remember when Hope Uzodinma resumed office and he was having some security challenges, you could see the number of vehicles he unveiled for the security people. He unveiled more than 150 cars. You can go through it. And he empowered them with millions of naira. I did not see this happening in Benue State. The security vote given to Otom, he has not been using it to support the police so they can do a better job. Because in most cases, something is happening. You will discover that when you call the police, they will tell you there is no fuel, in their vehicle. They will tell you there is no vehicle to go anywhere. So that is the problem. So Otom has not done enough, in that regard, in supporting the police to do their work. Like Lagos State, like River State, Rivers has been supporting the police and army. You have been seeing it. They have been buying even gunboats, helicopters. Listen, Wika has been doing a lot. Lagos State has been doing a lot, empowering the police. But on the part of Otom, he has not been doing this. So I think that is the angle that I had the problem with.
I missed out something you said about Kaduna State. What was it you said about Kaduna?
Yes, Kaduna State, if you see the attacks are always where there are Christians.
No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah,
that's a narrative that's been spawned. It's just that people. No, that's not true. In other local governments in Kaduna is where I stayed and I lived for a very long time, so I know a lot about Kaduna State. That's not true. There's a city, what people have described as.
Where you have the problem.
Hold on.
But the last attack too, it was Christians that they were killed and they.
No, that's not true. I'm not going to accept that, because truth is, in Kaduna State, in places like Igabi and the likes, killings are going on, or people lose their lives on account of insecurity in those places. They're not Christian dominated communities, all right. But people would say, oh, there's a bit of a conspiracy of silence, and they wouldn't raise their voices as much, as you hear in southern Kaduna. That's not to say that there are no killings in other parts of Kaduna State. Let's just put that straight. Let's not make this conversation about religion or anything like that. In Zamfara State, people are losing their lives almost on a daily basis. These are people who they're not Christians in Zamfara. Most of the people who lose their lives in Zamfara State are not Christians. In Katsina State, the same things going on. So it's not even about religion. It's not even about ethnicity. Because if you go to the southeast, those who are killing southeasterners are not people from outside. They're even people from their own communities. So, it's nothing about ethnicity or religion. Criminals have taken up arms against Nigerians, and at all levels we need to speak to this. In the northeast, it's not a religious thing per se. Everyone gets caught up, in the crossfire, especially in the line of fire of these terrorists. So again, this is a Nigerian problem. It is not a religious problem. It is not an ethnic problem. It is a Nigerian problem. And who knows? If we do not stem it in the bud or nip it in the bud now, there just might be another group rising. Because it seems like with every new administration, there's a new group that picks up arms against the state and against Nigerians. Look at it from, Boko Haram during the Yaradua to Jonathan administration, moving on. We moved when the Buhari administration came in. We started to get more in the south, in the southeast. The IPOB came up in the northwest. What has been referred to as bandits and kidnappers became the order of the day, killing Nigerians. Hello, good morning, Bright.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me also take you up on killing the southeast. People that died in Ihamu for Enugu State. Is it the South that killed them?
Well, that's
People
very
that were killed in
arguable.
Uganda. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
People that were killed in Uganda. Is it Southeasterners? What people are doing protests in the Southeast? Is it Southeasterners that kill them?
When people went out to register to vote, who shot them at the registration centers? Who shot them and told them not to come out on election day?
Were you the security agent that provide them?
Were you the one that profiled the people that killed the people in Yamufu?
No, why are you saying people from the Southeast?
I mean, do you not see the people who killed, who have been arrested from the Southeast as those who have killed people? Those who hold on, those videos that you've seen where people are said to even eat human beings, are they where are they from?
Yeah, if you grow up in the Southeast, you will see some people that will come out, they will vote. Okay, let's bring it down. Like that soldier that was said that was they were trying to go to do wedding in Imo State, they were killed. I hope the traditional owner of that place told them, let them appoint to the village that girl is coming from. But up to now, where is the village? Where is the village the woman was coming from? The thing in Nigeria is that
Bright, are you trying to dispute the fact that there are Southeasterners who have taken up arms against other Southeasterners and are killing them? Is that what you're trying to dispute?
I know that
exactly.
There are some killers in
so what's the
Southeast.
point of your argument?
Don't generalize it. The people that you are killing people in Southeast are Igbos. Yes. Don't generalize it. Like this, that man was telling you that mostly, he said mostly, he didn't say all. And when you look down well, you see that what that man was saying is truth. Why should he be always Benue? Why should he always be there? And who are the people killing? Who are the people killing?
Bright, if you're being honest with yourself, the killings of Nigerians, the killings of Nigerians have gone on over the country, and it is not particular to one group that is doing these killings. Everyone, almost every geopolitical zone has armed groups that are killing themselves.
Let me ask you a question again. Tell me any other place apart from Southeast or South, when you see that when a soldier is being killed, they go and raise the whole community. Tell me one place. Is it not being done in Nigeria?
I'm not going to make this conversation about ethnicity or religion most.
So when we want to talk about
whether
Nigeria,
we like it or not, people are being killed in their home communities by people from their home communities. So this argument of whether it is mostly or not mostly does not even arise, because if you want
to that told us that they brought foreigners? Is it not the government that told us that foreigners came in from other countries to do it?
I'm not going to argue with you anymore. I'm not going to have this argument with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. Those are the numbers to call. Now, let's be objective when we discuss these issues. Put the sentiment aside. Yes, everyone wants to say, because this is the reason why these killings would continue to go on. If we continue to say it's our people against their people, it's us against them, then these things would continue. Rise up to if there are criminals in your community, speak up against them. These are criminals in our community. We need them to be prosecuted, and things will change. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Honestly, God will bless you. I'm so impressed to how impartial and sincere and direct to the point. If only all Nigerians are going to address issues the way you are seeing them, believe you me, we will live in peace. I'm just listening to your conversation and I'm impressed.
Thank you.
And I must tell you that our only problem is that we are biased against one another, so much so that we are so blinded by the fact that are staring into our eyes, eyeball to eyeball. What do I mean? Just like you raised, I'm from Katsina, and believe you me, one quarter of Katsina now is a no-go area. And no, there's no Easterner or any Southerner or anybody there. It's our Fulani brothers who are causing this mayhem. But it's the same way that is going on, so it's a Nigerian thing. So the earlier we realize and we get back to our senses and face these criminals, north, west, east, south, the better for all of us. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I didn't get your name. What's your name, please?
My name is Ahmed.
Ahmed, thank you very much for calling. Barakat Salah to you. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you so much.
All right. Let's get him back into the conversation. 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. Again, if there are criminal elements in your community and you give partial support. Now, how did Boko Haram expand to the level that it got to? It was because people gave partial support to it and said, oh, there are people, we cannot, we cannot expose our very own, right? We would protect our own. And so even when the military would come and say, bring these people out or report these things, nobody reports them because they're their own. It's the same situation that's going on in the South. People are brothers and sisters to some of the people who are perpetrating these killings, and they know them. But we wouldn't point them out because, well, they are our own. Right? So what does that say? It means that we have supported the killings one way or another if we continue like this. So if there are criminal elements in your community, how about you speak up and let them out? We've seen situations where people who tried to speak against them in their communities were killed by those same people. So if your brother is killing you, well, you continue to keep quiet because he's my brother. You know how they say in the forest, the trees, kept going short. Some trees kept falling and they were felled, and the forest shrunk daily. But the trees kept saying within themselves that the axe is their own. After all, the hand is made of wood. That's what we do a lot of times. So we continue to protect, oh, he's our own. I mean, the axe is made of wood. The hand is made of wood. So we continue to protect it. But then what's destroying us is within us. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Anacho. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
My name is Raymond.
Raymond, good to have you, Raymond.
Okay. Please, Anacho, this government, they know everything about all this killing because of why? Of all the security in Nigeria. Isn't it? So
I didn't get that. Say it again, please.
I said all this killing about all these states, everybody is talking. You understand, va? Government are they are in charge of all the security in Nigeria, isn't it? So they're supposed to organize in all states and all local governments so many security that we take in charge, because those people that are killing all these things is from inside Nigeria, not outside Nigeria. Even if it is from outside Nigeria, we have borders, you understand? They're supposed to position all securities there to monitor everything. So let us do something as a mature people, you understand? Advanced, because we have traveled to many countries, see what is going on there. So why every time we still talking about only one issue? You understand? So please, after the program, I want you to allowed by party government.
Say again. You broke the network bridge at some point. What did you say?
Yeah, I said that all those.
No, you said something about party government. What did you say about that?
I said you should play me by Fela Party.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'll bring in our final caller as we close it. Hello, good morning. I lost that one. 09073530044 and 09087668888. Now, again, if insecurity is our biggest challenge, why don't we all, in one voice, in one, in unison, come out to tell our government that what we want tackled first is insecurity? Hello, good morning.
Hello, yes, my prince is going to be calling back. Please, my prince, let me put some things, perspective. You see, I wasn't saying that it's a religion something. Okay. And neither was I saying that some other people too are not being killed. No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay. Because this killing, my prince, have a lot of dimensions. Like in Borno State, you can hardly hear that herdsmen kill anybody. Mm-hmm. Yes. You can hardly hear that herdsmen kill anybody in Zamfara. It's bandits. And people have been giving them different names, bandits, Boko Haram, herdsmen, and all of that. And even when the federal government didn't fit to proscribe the indigenous people of the IPO, I said herdsmen are more dangerous 10 times than IPO. So if you can declare an IPO a terrorist organization, what stops you from declaring herdsmen a terrorist organization? Okay. Because they are more deadly. And it's not as if it's only Christians who are being killed. No, I can never say that, and I did not say that. All right. But the killing has dimensions, and just like I said, you will never hear that herdsmen kill people in Borno State. Go and find out. You will never. But those places where herdsmen are killing people, go and find out who and who is staying there. That is my point, sir. Okay. And if you see that even though in Kaduna State, some people too have been killed, but where herdsmen concentrated the attack, go and find out where and where. Right. And you will see what I'm talking about. Thank you very much. And lastly, I want to say one thing, my prince, please. Lastly, I want to say one thing. That the bias from the side of the federal government does not augur well at all for security of Nigeria. All right. Why declare APO a terrorist organization and leave the herdsmen who are more dangerous? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your submission and clarifying that statement. Okay, now this is where we close it, all right? Again, first of all, Nigerians, come out to tell your government in clear terms what it is that you want. Do not allow yourselves to be distracted by some very trivial issues. Nigerians can be distracted a whole lot. If insecurity has been our problem coming from, from way back many years ago, even before this administration, why don't we speak to government in one voice, starting from your local government or even your House of Reps members or, your state assembly members? Push it up until it gets to the National Assembly. Put pressure, mount pressure on. See, Nigerians mounted pressure on the President and the National Assembly for the Electoral Act 2022 to be passed. You can also mount pressure on the government to see that if it's state police that would solve this problem, let's have state police. If we need to restructure for better federalism and all, then let's do that. You cannot continue to be docile and lackadaisical and expect for things to change. You have a voice. The Nigerian polity trembled. Nigerian polity shook in the last round of elections. Continue to mount momentum, and government will hear you. But if you talk here today and tomorrow you go back, you don't mobilize, you don't find ways to mount pressure on your assembly members, National Assembly members, then the other things will just continue to be the way that they are. So if the man from the southeast is mounting pressure on his senator, the man from the northwest is mounting pressure on his senator, the man from the south-south, the southwest, and every other geopolitical zone is mounting pressure on their National Assembly members. At the same time, on the same issue, I guarantee you there's going to be a change. Okay? Remove the sentiment. Don't say, oh, they're our people, we can't kill our own, because that's what it has been. The herdsmen and banditry and all of that also got a boost because some people said these are freedom fighters. They're fighting for their own freedom. They're our own. We cannot say our own should be prosecuted. And that's what it is. It's been. everywhere in the country. Remove the bias, remove the sentiment, and things will get better. It's Friday. Happy Eid al-Fitr to you, and enjoy your holidays. Keep thinking about this and do the right thing, even as the new government comes in. My name is Ihia Nacho Prince. Business News is up next. Keep it with us.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.